In this video, I'm going to share with you an energy update for the full moon in Libra for this pink, full, compassionate moon, and 6 steps that will help you bring your love currency into harmony. Let's go! Hello, fellow flames. Welcome to my twin flame energy update. Today I'm going to talk to you about the super full pink moon in Libra here on April the 7th and 8th, depending upon where you are in 2020. This is the strongest super full moon of the year. It is pink because of the creeping flux here at this time of the year. And the way to think about this is that flux is like a moss and it's got roots. And we've been planting seeds in the way of love and a higher version of love and the new earth heart language that we've been learning over the last few years. And since the 444 portal, we are now able to amplify our way of love in such a way that we're really practicing and actually living that love is a currency. I'm going to share with you more about what that means, and I'm also going to share with you 6 steps that can help you step into more harmonious, healthy, and loving relationships as you go forward. Because this full moon represents huge shifts and changes, but because it's in Libra, we are looking at the harmonious relationship. Libras are all about, they've been people pleasers in the past, but this new earth heart language is not about just giving. It's also about the harmony of the give and the take. So love being a currency in equal exchange. And that this moon is about calling in our compassion and communicating it in such a way that we're creating the eternal hearts and living out harmonious relationships where it's more fulfilled for everyone involved. There's more fulfillment. There has to be an invested interest that becomes into balance. In the new earth heart language, it will no longer work to have one-sided relationships. And it's also no longer going to work in order to be you putting and investing all of the effort, all of the carrying that load. It's got to come back to you in such a way that now you're receiving. And so this moon is going to help you do that so that we can attain on a higher scale, a higher love, and a higher heart activation is taking place in this energy. And that's creating heart expansion. That's going to also, to get there, we're going to have to come into tune with the heart of the mind and shift from head logic into heart language so that we can open up to receiving divine partners. And those divine partners also need to be in harmony with their own heart and be able to stand alone in their own love bank, to be filling up their love bank in this concept and the idea of the self-love revolution that we've been on for the last few years. And so to do that, we're elevating our hearts in such a way that it's elevating the way we love others and elevating all of our relationships, not just with ourselves, but with the beloved and with the families and even with children. So if we think about this quarantine that we're going through right now, it's putting people in situations that they're being forced to communicate. They're being forced to connect. They're being forced to align with the truths that have been hidden and have not been faced up to this point, so that this communication of desires can come out and can be expressed in such a way that we get to now express from the heart and move forward with healthier relationships versus the codependency in the past that has been filling the void, and being able to deal with a lot of abandonment issues in the past where it's caused these rejected feelings, it's put up walls and caused the heart to close off. So we're being put in a position in this moon of one of two things is going to be taking place. If you've been doing the inner work and you've created more of a harmonious relationship with yourself, it's going to allow you to create more harmonious relationships with everyone around you during this time. If you have not necessarily done the work with yourself, it's going to put you in a position to have to face yourself in order to make those changes still within you. And I'm seeing even in like everyone that I've been working with this quarantine, that this connection that they're having with basically families and children is boundaries are needing to be set in a huge way here to be able to stand up, show up, speak up, ask for what we need. But in addition to that, if we've been that people pleaser, then and I actually know several Libras that are going through this right now, even down to with their children, that they're having to set boundaries with children because children have known how to manipulate or get what they want or push buttons. Those kinds of things are not even working anymore in our interactions of this give and take. And so it's such a beautiful thing to be able to reconnect these relationships in a very harmonious way. So before I go into the 6 steps that can help you step into more loving relationships in a harmonious way, I want to talk just a little bit about what this means in relation to twin flame reunions during this timeline. So we had opened a portal that started on 2/22 of 20 that then got a little wider as a portal of the 444, which represents the 222 is bringing us into balance. The 444 was starting this relationship harmony that now we are upping with this moon and the pink moon and the compassion of a higher love that I'm talking about here, that is giving us alignment with the higher heart so that we can connect with the eternal love of the true version of love. Because what we're doing is in this concept of the new earth heart language, we're shifting from that unrequited love into unconditional love. And so in those 2 ways of what I was talking about, if you've been doing the work and it's bringing you into alignment, this is going to be bringing you potentially back into alignment with your twin flame to reconnect in a new way. And I saw this just yesterday, actually. I've been seeing it for a while now in this portal we're talking about. But yesterday I connected with a client that was saying she had not saw her twin flame in 5 years. And he's literally moving back into her town just this month. And she needed like a follow-up session to go through and prepare things she was processing and going through. And so I'm seeing this repeated pattern of twin flames that have been in separation. They are coming into the harmony of this alignment and reconnecting in a new way. And we're talking been in separation for a while. In addition to that, if you've been in alignment or you've been in reunion or some kind of a connection, if you have not cleared the underlying truths that have not came to the surface to heal yet, you will be feeling some turbulence instead of harmony, because it's going to be forced to face those things to clear it, so the currency of love comes into harmonic exchange of a higher version of love, not our old type of love we've thought of. And so I just wanted to give you a little bit of the timeline, like portals that I'm seeing and how this is taking place. Is the 5D energy aspect of this is already completed. So we've already brought that full circle in this 5D connection of everything that I'm telling you. Karmic partners are ending. Those are the karmic toxic relationships that will not, in this new vibration of the new earth, be able to be supported any longer. So I'm seeing a lot of people in karmic situations, but what's happening in that process is that, for instance, a lot of them have already made changes that they've wanted to take to step out of the physical process of ending their, say, divorces or ending relationships or moving. Well, the quarantine took a delay in that and a divine order to go deeper, wider, learn more, go within even more. But I see that this portal is going to be opening up by around 4/22, April 22nd, right around that new moon that we have coming up towards the end of the month. And then there's going to be a lot of shift in the physical changes of these physical connections with the external world not matching the internal vibrations, such as having karmic partners and those sorts of things. It's already happening, but I'm talking collectively in a portal of a mass shift. And so that's going to be taking place through June 22nd, right around like here in the Northern Hemisphere for the summer solstice. It's going to be really shifting. That's going to also be playing out dependent upon your wave. So if you've not watched my 3 Waves of Twin Flames video, you're going to want to make sure to watch that. Keeping in mind there's so many variables to you and your dynamic as to whether a reunion takes place or not. And I'll even have more videos and updated things coming with that. But if you've not been watching my Twin Flame Ascension series, Redefined, you're going to want to check that out for some new information. And so, but that portal is like a 3-year span of just getting more and more defined, more and more clear, more and more of a higher vibration within us to experience these loving relationships. So we're going to see between now and December 20th of 20, like a huge shift in some physical things around that is shifting out all of the blockages that are preventing us from receiving and giving love in perfect harmony. And then from December 21st, or December 20th, 20 to December 21st of 21 is going to be another huge cycle of this. We're going to have like 3 waves of this. So of this portal of these sort of reunions coming into place. So to be from 12/20/20 to 12/21/21, 12/21/21 to 12/22/22, 12/22/22 to 12/23/23. We've been in preparation, and so it's part of why, like, think about this, like, in these reunions that are going to be taking place. We can't all come into reunion at the same time because it would be too much of a vibrational shift for humanity and the earth plane, and everything's in transitions, and it would just be, the polarities would be too off and not in alignment. But basically, by the time we get to the 2023 mark in that timeline and we start hitting that, we will have anchored in this newer, higher unconditional love, bringing it in the perfect alignment of this currency. So I just want to tell you how, like, for myself, like, how, where this love is currency kind of came from. So, you know, I have a divine masculine that is a very impactful person in my life right now, that's very high vibrational, that's helping me accelerate. He's an ascension teacher. You'll actually meet him at some point. I'm going to interview him and coming up with a whole new series of different types of connections with some of the connections I've had, and letting them share their side of the story of my journey and how that relates to questions you guys have. So stay tuned, because I have a whole series coming of this that's in the making now. He's writing his book, this particular person, and, you know, he's working on the lover section, and he was talking about yesterday, he's very in tune with the moon and how letting go of collective clearing and basically choosing himself. And so I'm using this as an example because where we're at in this right now is we're all going to the next level of even loving ourselves. And, you know, he was having this moment of, like, coming down to, like, this whole concept of love as currency. Well, he didn't realize I was writing about the exact same thing he was writing about, and I was doing it for, like, seeing it as this pink moon and compassion and communication and sharing how we feel and sharing, like, connecting in a new way that is more compassionate, not only with ourselves, but others. And so in that, he wants to go out and change the world. And I was but he hasn't fully chose himself. He's the most balanced divine masculine I have met on masculine and feminine, but he has so much collective giving that he needs to choose himself. And he even has a history of being basically diabetic, where that is being robbed of the joy and the sweetness of life. And I had said to him, you may not be able to change the whole world, but you can change your whole self. And he's writing a book on that too, that will change the world when you change you. So by you being able to stop, fully clearing for the collective and change your own universe, that is going to be the part that you're responsible for. And one of the things, that's one reason why he's testing my boundaries, to be able to set them, because he's like my father and my mother in one person. And it's very strong for me to be able to come in that kind of energy, that I have to set the boundary and speak my truth and communicate. He's teaching me this communication, to set boundaries. But that's also me taking back my own power. But on the flip side of that, he's needing to set boundaries with so many people and take back his own power. And that by doing that is going to be basically putting yourself first. And then when you do that and you fill up your own love bank, then you become that master of your own universe. And then your love currency starts to come into balance, and you're filling up your own love bank, so it's not depleted. And you're able to then give and receive in more of a harmonic exchange. So now I want to share those 6 steps that will help you release your past relationships, so that you can discover a higher version of love from within and fill up your own love bank, so that you can then experience harmonious relationships in all areas of your life, and especially with your beloved. So the first thing is clarifying your current relationship statuses based on your twin flame here, especially your family, your children, the people that are most important in your life, including maybe other karmic people or friends, and those sorts of situations that are all showing up as teachers. So it will be important that you take a look at the status of where you're at with that, and look at it from a place of, am I happy with the way it is now? And if you're not happy with the way it is now, and you're not receiving that which you need to be receiving, and to make this harmonic and an equal exchange of your give and your take, so that you're experiencing the currency of love and equal exchange, then look at each person, make a list of that, of where are things at, and what is it you don't like about the situation. And then in that, be able to look at that and be like, okay, what is this teaching me? What part of this is mine? What am I in control of here? Can I change this? Is this coming from within me? And I may not be able to change them. But first of all, if this is a relationship that's worthwhile and meaningful, that you want to keep and that you want to experience from this new earth heart language, then it's worth investing the time into. So it's going to be important that you clarify what you don't like and how you would like to see it, so that you can then start to view that relationship from a newer, higher perspective, a higher version of love, from that eternal love that is unconditional. Maybe you need to look at this situation and be like, where do I have expectations here? Where am I projecting my own thoughts, feelings, and emotions onto that person? And how much of that is basically mine that I could basically learn from, so I can truly let it go? So be sure to clarify your current relationship statuses, and that way you can now have more clarity on what it is you don't want and what it is you want. So in number 2, don't run from your feelings. It's very easy to do because it hurts, especially when we've experienced the shattered heart of our twin flames that have broken us apart, so that we can dump out all that doesn't work, and to therefore what happens is it creates this compassion that we're experiencing. So in this timeline of this communicate with compassion and connecting on a deeper heart level, that's this full moon energy, basically this is the time that it could bring up heart pain, to get in touch with your emotions, so that your need to learn to accept that side of yourself, begin to be gentle with yourself, begin to allow yourself to feel the sadness or the anger and stop running from that rather than numbing it. And then the minute you stop fighting that, you can then basically create like you're letting go of you're surrendering, you're letting go of the resistance of that pain. And then you can start to see the pain as a gift. And then that allows you to then, put that into something productive and positive that becomes the gift back to yourself, if you will use that emotion to maybe help other people and step outside of your own circumstances, but don't run from the feelings of that. And number 3, it's taking responsibility for your experiences. It's saying that I am a vibrational being that came here to learn experiences, and that everyone around me, especially my twin flame, but everyone is the mirrored reflection of me. And if they're showing up in a way that is not in harmony with the love currency I desire, then I need to own that. And I need to take responsibility and be willing to see myself in the mirror and be, what is it I need to learn here so I can resolve that, let it go, and then move past it in a very blessed way. That again, I kind of go back to seeing the gift in that, so that you can not just own your self, it's giving you the power to do so, because you're going to, by taking responsibility and facing those fears and not running from those fears, you're really then letting go of your resistance to some of this change or blame or being the victim. And it will then release and remove what it is you're experiencing from the abandonment and the projection that you're putting out, and what's showing up, it will go away, it will dissipate, and it will bring you into a place of feeling at peace with the process, and then the experience will just start to fade away. And number 4, it's about spending time in reflection. And so many people do not want to take the time to process, create higher awareness. They get very busy, and they like to escape themselves to do things or be active and be busy, which really negates the opportunity to fully integrate and embody the awarenesses that you're creating once you get in alignment with these feelings and you take responsibility and you're seeing more awareness. If you spend that reflection time integrating that, embodying it, and kind of creating an action plan that allows you to implement it into your life, then you can go forward in that new and harmonious way, because you have basically set up the new templates for you to go forward in a more positive and productive way and more loving way, so that you can then start to raise your vibration and attract more empowering people and partners that stop triggering those childhood wounds that I keep talking about. So if you've not checked out my Reprogram Your Childhood Wounds online course, there's a link below. The first module is free, so make sure to check that out. It'd be a perfect thing to do during this timeline, because our parents in these relationships are becoming one of the number one things we're clearing right now, so that we can align with this higher version of love in all areas of our life as well. And number 5 is about identifying those repeated patterns, so that we can then let them go and then implement our new patterns of action. So a lot of times what's happening is we're not going backwards. We're literally just repeating things to implement and give us the opportunity, like a test, to put our new patterns of action into motion, so that we can then practice what it is that we want, meaning we're giving unconditionally, we're receiving unconditionally. But if we're not, there's usually a common theme to that as to what is the common pattern that you have in every relationship that is going forward with you and blocking you from this love as currency in exchange in harmony. And I shared in the last video about the karmic partners and my experience with that, and how that relates to my father and my own experience, and how, like, being in that situation with my father and shutting down and going into suppression my whole life basically has prevented me from expressing. So I've always attracted these people and partners that either could not speak in such a way that they matched more me, and that's who I felt more comfortable with, or I'd attract ones that were stronger, but then I would still shut down. Where now I'm learning to express and communicate and connect in this newer way. So this new person I'm talking about is like a person to allow me to put into motion everything that I have been learning up to this point and healing it. And therefore, when we're ready, we'll bring in who we need, because I can promise you, like, he showed up. It wasn't like I was looking for this situation. So number 6 is about building self-esteem. It's about looking within ourselves and finding our own values, setting boundaries, and giving our own self-respect and honoring ourselves and our wishes, and not setting our own self up for failure and sabotage. So begin to look at your gifts, your spiritual gifts, your wisdom, your truth. Start to own that. Start to connect to that. Start to speak to that. Start to show up for yourself. Start to build your own confidence so that you can then have that self-esteem and self-worth and self-value and self-respect that then becomes the vibration that you want to be, that will then bring everyone around you into this place of respect for you. Just like this person that I'm talking about, I'm continually setting boundaries with. He respects my boundaries. He respects that I can speak my truth. He respects me. And he also sees he's open enough to not run from his own feelings and to clarify his own situation, to see, what is this teaching me? What is she teaching me? And he's a fast learner. He's like seeing from that, as I'm also seeing, to be able to be open more, to receive more. In this case, I'm in a place of such self-respect and self-love that he is giving me the experience to be treated like the goddess that I am. And there's some things that aren't in full alignment with that as of yet anyway. That's not to say they can't harmonize, but where we are each at is perfectly in alignment for what we each need, and then being open to receive that experience. And that is love and harmony. And that's what you need to be building and working on that from a perspective of, how can I be my best version of me, step into eternal love, expand my heart and move into more compassion, not just for myself, but more compassion with everyone around me, and experiencing that in such a way I get to communicate that, I get to connect to that from the heart, and I get to experience love and perfect harmony and receive the equal exchange of love as currency in all areas of my life. So make sure you check out all the resources below. And if you have a return, say, twin flame or partner, or even one that's going away that you're needing to connect with and have more compassion for, in such a way that you're seeing things in a different way now to create more harmony in your old situation and letting go of the way it was, leave me a comment below and let me know how this moon is impacting you. Also, make sure to check out my Free Your Soul online healing program that's live. That's 11 people that I plan to connect with. Starts April the 19th. And so if you've been trying to release your past so you can raise your vibration and then let go of all of these lower vibrational patterns that you've been having, so we can identify your personal lie and let you own that truth and step into your ultimate truth, actually, that program will really help you. So check out the link below. I send you so much love, so much light, so much blessings. This energy is just divine and sweet and loving, and I love all of you and enjoy. May you always face your fears, find freedom, and glow forward on fire. Namaste.